We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins defense versus the Giants. Huge bounce back week for the team after really struggling versus the Bills. Now, it was versus one of the worst offenses in the league, but that's what you're supposed to do. Take care of business versus those types of teams. Not the type, other way around where that offense bounces back versus your really bad defense. They really took it to them, so you could tell they're clearly talented. They just got to start cleaning up some of these mistakes that they make versus the bigger teams, but absolutely dominated this Giants O-line, which was definitely expected. You can see it right here. Like, Christian Wilkins was destroying these guys. He was too much. Look how quick he is off the ball. Just the instant pressure inside of the A-gap. Super good quickness. His pass rush ability has been a lot better this year. I think he hasn't been as effective versus the run just due to how they're aligned pre-snap. They're playing in less tight fronts, which is where he really dominated last year. So he doesn't get to be as dominant versus the run, but I do think he's been a better pass rusher, which is what people wanted. They haven't given him as much credit this year, but they played good coverage on the back end. Wilkins destroys his battle, and then everyone else works to this. I think Ogba technically gets credit for this sack, Chubb chasing it down. Baker did a really good job in this game containing Daniel Jones when he tried to escape. That speed definitely helped out. They stopped the run pretty well up front. Everyone just doing their job here, getting control at the point of attack. This is just really good run defense up close, and then good finish by Deshaun Elliott because they kind of bounced it out to him, squeezed this down low. Everyone getting control of their gap, making sure they're not getting double teamed. They try to climb up here to David Long. He does a good job of taking his guy on at the point of attack and creating that space so there's no free gap to work into here. Everyone's just in control. Sealer gets control. They try to bounce it outside. Chubb does a good job of making it even bounce further to the side, and Elliott just takes him out from underneath, and they get no gain on the play. That's good team football. Look where all these white jerseys are compared to the Giants players. One of the first plays of the game, and they have a clear miscommunication. Just watch Elliott and David Long. They go into cover 3, and a lot of times they do cover 3 match, so they just carry these things, but clearly it seems like to this side of the field that they wanted to pass this off. Long thinks that he should match 3 to the slot. He thinks Elliott's, I guess, a seam flat, just carry number 2. But since he thinks, that Elliott's going down to the flat, he reads number 3 go out, so he points to the inside, take the new number 3, the receiver, who's working into the hook. He just wants to pass it off. He doesn't take it. He takes the cheese. He thinks he should get the quick 3 to the outside, and Elliott's, a little frustrated there. But that's sort of the thing Elliott brings to this team. They didn't have him last week, but he's definitely the communication guy, and they definitely got better. This was the second play of the game, and they got this cleaned up as it went on, but at least he's out there communicating, trying to make things. David Long just made, not the greatest play there. Giants really did struggle to run the ball, and it was that O-line. They also bring the run blitz off the edge with Cater. Just everyone getting into the backfield. Sealer, I don't think, was getting blocked all day long. No one really was. Look at that win to the inside. Baker fills that hole. You think Sealer's gonna be this A gap, and Baker's gonna kind of work off of it, but he shoots over all the way to the other A gap side, and Baker refills that hole for him. So really good teamwork there, and look how dominant and quick Sealer is off the ball. Good hand placement, swim over the top, and then get back down the line. You don't want to get too flattened out to the side. And then they have Kohu blitzing off the edge there. Just a great run stop by everybody up front. Then they get their next sack. I'm not going to focus on the Van Ginkel sacks because I did a Van Ginkel video yesterday if you guys haven't seen that yet. Dolphins basically go man-to-man across the board, cover 1. They have everything pretty much covered up here, and then they bring a nice little blitz up close. They're not ready for it at all. They kind of bring Baker to this side, and you can see just Baker slightly coming up like this, and I think he just ends up being a spy, but him showing this B-gap pressure makes Neal come down to block this, and it gets Ogba going free. Wilkins just ragdolls the center hey, get out of here. Tosses him out of the club. Look how strong this club move is. It throws him out of the way and gets underneath. Chubb also meets at the quarterback. They're all there to get that sack. Just absolutely amazing work from the entire defensive front throughout most of this game. Then we get the Cater Kohu special. You throw a screen to his side, he's probably going to take it. He sees the motion out to his side. He starts instinctively sneaking up to this. He sees it coming. And once he just reads the mesh point here, sees Jones might pull it, he just gets downhill in a hurry. Makes a great tackle. That's honestly where he's probably at his best. He does it a lot in the nickel, but there he was on the outside. They had Eli Apple playing on the outside. It'll show you some of what happened with him there when they went out to their nickel. But in base, it was still Kohu on the outside. Still want to see them play better on more consistent level versus better teams, but this is a nice step in the right direction. This was another sack by the Dolphins defense on a 3rd and 3. You can see them create this initial pressure, have Jones escape the pocket, and then good hustle by Baker. Dolphins in a version, of their cover 3, Holland comes down. He's passing some stuff off. Hyatt working across the field. They drop Bradley Chubb into a hook. Everything else ends up being pretty good. Good job. I think that's long to carry Waller down the field, and Jones can't get to it quick enough. Everything else is pretty much locked up there. And Baker hustles. We can watch from this angle. Wilkins gets the initial pressure. He was getting pressure all day long. Sealer doing a good job with his pursuit, his hustle, and then Baker flies. Man, that's his best ability, is when he just sees someone chase and he has to take an angle and explode, just run in a straight line for, 15, 20 yards. That's honestly when he's at his best. We got Eli Apple on a vertical plane. This is probably where he's been at his best, just on these vertical routes. I think that most of his best reps when he started have been him not getting beat vertically, getting physical at the line with Waller there, squeeze to the sideline, stay in phase with him, go up to at least play into the receiver. Everything pretty nice there. Wasn't all pretty, though, for Eli for most of the game after that, but he did at least make some positive impact, and that's probably where he made most of his impact. Also, good rush right here from Deshaun Hand winning up close. Deshaun Hand actually played a pretty good game in his limited snaps. Then the very next play for Apple, he's holding his outside leverage, and I think, he's playing like cover 2 here. Basically, they're playing cover 2 to the top, quarters to the bottom, and he just sees double slant. So that's basically what the Giants do a lot. They double slant to this side. The guy who's playing the hook will then, crash down on this slant, and then it puts Eli Apple in a tough spot, to be honest, because he is the flat defender. He's playing outside leverage naturally, and he's just late to react to this slant. He, takes a hesitation and just hits Darren Waller in stride on the 3rd and 10. They honestly converted on that play, multiple times throughout the game. That was, their only really effective passing concept for this one. Here's another example of the same thing. Instead of, double slant, it's the slant with the dig up front. So it basically accomplishes the exact same thing. This guy has to push up field vertically and match this instead of, breaking on it. And then you bring this in behind it like a quicker in route. So you have the quick in with the dig up close. Same sort of principle to beat this. And Apple just late to react on these. Look how he was very hesitant. I think he just didn't want to get beat at all in this game. So he was giving up a lot of the underneath stuff. But that's an area where the Dolphins definitely need to improve. This is a great play by Xavier Howard. They try to hit him with, the full curl, twirl out of it and go down the field. A lot of teams have been running this since Amon-Ra St. Brown scored a touchdown on it a week ago. And a lot of teams have been running this specific play. This is a great play at the catch point by Howard. His ball skills are amazing, and just slapping down, slicing through the hands to make this play. Dolphins in cover 3, we'll just see this. He doesn't get super over aggressive here. He's ready to break down. He knows he has some help underneath to take that away, but he's able to adjust, stay in the hip pocket, see the ball is going to be thrown perfectly, and he just slashes down, gets that ball out. Very, very high level play right there from Howard to recover and win at the catch point. First, a very good tight end. That's just an excellent play by X. Then we get to see Sealer on the very next play just dominate versus the run, win his battle at the point of attack, tossing these guys around like ragdolls. It was so easy up front. Everyone just gets such good control. But look at him take this control. This is how you beat a double team. This guy's trying to, go down and then climb to second level, but he wants to attack the low hip. And Sealer feels this, right? So he's feeling this. So he just attacks the guard here. He doesn't want to get away here. So he gets to the other half of this guard. So this guy has no chance to really move him down. And he gets complete control. He only gets on the back. And then he's able to shed off to the other side. That is about as clean as a rep versus the run as you'll ever see. Then the very next play, Sealer finishes it off on a 3rd and 9 for the sack. Good job up front by everyone, but they're just dominating. People are getting held. The flag was on the holding. They're trying to loop this around too. I think Chubb is the one that gets held. They hook him around there, but they're trying to loop this around with Wilkins. Sealer kind of destroys some people up front. The center's forced to go to Wilkins, and then Sealer gets the free sack on a 3rd and long situation. Another 3rd and long. Giants go empty, and they just throw the quick slant. This time to the number 2 underneath. They don't throw the one behind it. I think they were guessing the Dolphins were trying to adjust, which they did have inside leverage this time at the top, and they have Kohu. A lot of the times when they were doing this, they had Bethel to this side. This time Kohu is to this side to match the number 2, so they made a little bit of adjustment to this side, playing quarters up here. They're playing cover 2 to the bottom, it looks like. Just pretty nice adjustment overall. I mean, I said that opposite. They're playing cover 2 up here and quarters to the bottom. But yeah, just good job matching Kohu. There's a lot of room to work here. Make him throw it underneath, play top down, and then make the secure tackle short of the 6. 3rd and 3 situation. Look at this dominant rep right here from Bradley Chubb. He's knifing to the inside, and they're bringing pressure off the edge with Kohu. So he has to shoot into that inside gap. Look how he just takes apart this play. Love the pressure packages they brought in this game. It really worked. So he's knifing down right away. Waller has no chance to get any hands on him, and they're bringing this receiver across underneath, and he hooks around the receiver because you're allowed to do this when you're behind the line of scrimmage. Takes him out of the play, and then also uses that like receiver's momentum to like change direction too to get to the quarterback, and then forces Jones to throw it away. Him and Kohu getting to the quarterback. Very disruptive. I know Chubb hasn't played up to expectations, but he's playing better than people think. He's just not playing up to like the trade they did or the contract that he was given. But he could still get there eventually, but still want to see more out of him for sure. When the defensive front is able to dominate this way, I know they're playing a pretty bad line. It just makes it so much easier on the Dolphins coverage. Like, look how it's so much easier. Like, they're playing quarters back here, just playing quads. Everyone's just able to sit. They don't have to backpedal. They don't have to give up all this room. Everything's basically covered. This is the only thing that's open to this side, but then Howard's just sort of sitting on it to the top. And then we'll go look at how they were able to disrupt this play. Just really great work. I think Wilkins just gets a free lane. This is just bad work by the Giants offensive line. They're sliding to this side. I think the center doesn't know what he's doing. The right guard's not looking at him. I don't even know what to say about that play for the Giants O-line. I just think they're completely lost out there, which I feel kind of bad for them because most of those players are backups. But Dolphins defense definitely took advantage of it. Textbook play in cover 6 here from Javon Holland. He's to the 3-by-1 side. They're playing quarters to 3-by-1 side, and he's leveraging 3 to 2. You know, when you're in this position, you're reading, from 3 to 2, and 3 works up vertically like this. You're going to squeeze this. 51's trying to disrupt, carry it as well. But then, Ko can match the number 2. Number 1, they can distribute over there. And he gets over the top of the seam and makes a perfect play at the catch point, coming over to the top to swat that down. Very, very good work. Holland didn't need to be involved very often in this game because they were not throwing the ball down the field. But when they finally gave him his shot, easy pass deflection. I showed this play in the Van Ginkel video, but just showing this for Christian Wilkins, absolutely dominating. Except also good pass distribution on the back end. You can see the coverage plays pretty nicely here. Cover 2 to the bottom, quarters to the top. Everyone's matching up here, matching their guy. They all stay in their relative areas, so they just match. He stays over the top here to the quarter side, takes the number 2, and then Tyrod's supposed to escape the pocket. And we'll just see. I think Christian is the one that gets held on here, and look what he was doing to this poor guard, man. He hit him with the crossover, got hooked as well. This is disgusting. I know people, it's against a backup players up front, and I know people have had problems with Christian Wilkins' sack numbers, but he is creating pressures. He's the one disrupting these plays a lot of the time. And sack numbers, I think, can be a tiny bit overrated at times just because they're very situational. And just because you have high sack numbers doesn't mean you're hugely affecting the play. It means you're finishing the play, but sometimes they're cleanup sacks. Sometimes it's a coverage sack. But when you're getting consistent pressures like this, that's how I know you're dominating up front because he's making plays like that. That's why I always look to the film, and Wilkins is playing better than most people are giving him credit for. It's late in the game. Dolphins are expecting a pass, and they're running a stunt here, and look how it ends up, stopping the run. I don't even think they're trying to attempt this, but, they have Hand crashing down this way with Raekwon looping behind it, and it ends up just working out perfectly because Raekwon gets a free lane, them trying to run, a little delayed handoff there, and it ends up working perfectly versus the run. Just pretty funny that they weren't even trying to do that, and that's how it ended up playing out. Last play that I'm going to break down. Basically, I think this is the second to last play the defense played, and it's just a very good rep by Christian Wilkins. Look how he's able to just dominate this with Long working behind him, and he just shoots through that gap. He also gets hooked. He sees this opening, so he takes it, shoots down right away, and look at Wilkins hit this club. He was just taking some liberties. This is a very impressive play by Wilkins because he's a B-gap defender here, and he just goes on. He sees this guy sort of lean over the top of him, so he just knows he's going to take that outside gap, get in there, and then bend this back. The athleticism here for this guy is insane. David Long also there to meet him at the point of attack, and they get no gain on a 3rd and 3. At this point, the game's it's not over. It's pretty much over, but it's technically not over. They could score twice, or they could score, get an onside kick, score, and tie it. But Wilkins never gives up. Love the energy he plays with. Really liked what I saw from the defense. Now just need to see it versus some better offenses. Want to see the same results next week versus the Panthers, who have been struggling a lot. And then I want to see them play at least much better versus the Eagles. They got to slow down the run in that game and then win some of their one-on-one matchups versus their very good receivers. So if you can do the video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.